don't think we've got the setting function over in this bit. Yeah.
Welcome, everyone, boys and girls, people of the internet, and citizens of the world, to the Somnium show on Somnium Space Live. Woofer Blast! If you're watching, we miss you. Can't wait till you're back, bro. Today, everyone, we're going to be talking about the theory of mind, artificial general intelligence, and the new, mind-bending breakthroughs that are happening right now in our day and age. A multiplicative effect building upon each other. So get ready, everyone, for a philosophical, fantastical conversation between the greatest people online, baby, on the Somnium Show. Yeah, here we go. We're going to start. All right. So today we're going to be talking and discussing about artificial general intelligence. What is it? And the new breakthroughs that have been going on regarding theory of mind. And even with ChatGPT 4 that we have going on right now, it's very, very, very interesting. But let's start it off with what exactly is AGI, Artificial General Intelligence? What do you guys think, everyone? Woo, give it up for Arthur. Tell us, Arthur. Artificial General...
You just called me Arthur?
No, Arthur.
It's like a mix of Arthur and retard. Arthur!
That's a good one, though, bro.
Was it AI who called me that? That's your only chance.
Pretty creative.
Say yes.
So
hello, I'm Arthur.
The Arthur.
I think. What? What's the question? Sorry. I
what is artificial general intelligence? And what do you think about?
Artificial general intelligence is an artificial intelligence which can trick you to believe that it's fully sentient, meaning that while it might not be sentient, the feeling you will be getting from from making conversation with it, or for talking to it or doing whatever, you will not distinguish it from the real feelings. While it still might be not sentient, and probably it won't, but you will not be able to derive a difference from that. So I think that's the most probable scenario of actually us seeing something like this happening, and I don't think we're that far away from it.
Yeah, so I mean an AI that can do whatever a human can do, right?
Correct, in a way that humans will perceive as real. Because if you really start diving deep into a substance of life, you can ask yourself, what is the personality? What is your consciousness, right? What makes you human? And I think human is a very complex set of parameters which are colliding with each other, and thus creating us as human beings with our own personalities. And if AI can be that, if AI can be diverse enough in terms of expressions, in terms of providing you an information in a way that you are used to from humans, I think that's where you will stop being able to recognize whether it's a real person or not. And I think at that moment of time, we as humans will just think that's sentient, or that's enough. We will not think about it. It will be normal. It will be absolutely, as a baseline for us. So yeah, I think that's, again, I think that the AI doesn't need to be sentient for us to think it's sentient. That's what I'm trying to say.
Fascinating. Wow, man. Give it up for Arthur. Yeah, thank you, Arthur. Thank you. How about you, bro? What's artificial general intelligence to you? What do you see it? Do you think it's coming? Do you think it's a possibility?
Yeah, I think it's going to be a great tool, and especially for business as well. It's going to really help people focus on the things they want to focus. Obviously, at the moment, we're not there yet, and there's lots of people like Singularity that are trying to work to get to that point. But I think it's going to take quite some time before we really get there and actually work out how to safely do it, because the big thing is lots of companies are ploughing millions and millions, well, billions into it, and they're not really sure of the ramifications or how dangerous it can be. But
So
it's
what
going
do
to
you
be
mean
really
by, like,
interesting. I think next 12 months.
dangerous? Like, so if I don't know, like artificial general intelligence, when we have an AI that can do whatever a human can do, like,
Well, that's it. But it also has more knowledge than any human can ever have.
yeah, but what's
So
gonna happen to
it's-
jobs and businesses? Like,
I think it'll enhance them. You know, it's no different to the internet coming and being, you know, renewing how businesses work. And I think that's going to happen several times over our lifetime, because obviously tech is rapidly expanding
yeah.
and changing.
Imagine if everyone was capable of, you know, like you instead of having to hire employees, you make a startup, and then you just rent out a bunch of GPUs, and then you have like an AI company kind of, that does all these tasks
But
for you.
that's it. And they did say that the next, you know, well-paid job will be people that can use these AIs and prompt them correctly to get the answers that they want. But you're always going to need someone to fix the bugs that come from it, although they'll fix them themselves eventually.
Yeah, have you already seen? There's already AI that can improve itself. Like it can make an agent of itself and continuously improve. It can even reflect on the answers it gives to give you better answers. Like,
Well, it's like GPT-4 as well. I mean, that's publicly accessible, but think of what's behind those curtains and what advances they've actually got behind the doors and available to people with a lot of money.
wow, yeah. Thank you, bro. Thank you. How about you, man? What do you think of artificial general intelligence? What are your thoughts on it?
Yeah. I mean, it's an interesting one. I've heard about it a lot on the radio recently. A lot of people have been calling in terrified. Like, you get older generation ringing in saying it's going to take over the world and everyone's doomed and all that. But, like, honestly, in my opinion, like, man is just as dangerous as AI will ever be. Like we literally see that with what is going on in the world now. So I don't think an AI will be any more dangerous than what we currently do to each other. So, but AI has been around for years, like 10 years. Like it's always been a thing. Like when you go shopping,
Even more.
AI
yeah.
is in the
Exactly.
supermarket. Yeah. Like to like really early 90s maybe that AI was a thing, but like it's just because it's popular now because of ChatGPT. Like it's a new language model that is kind of hitting the headlines.
I mean, it's great.
Hopefully,
but
I can only see good coming from it. Like, hopefully, it will allow people that are creative, more time. Maybe it will enhance their careers. So they can get paid to be creative because AI can't ever take that element away from people. Like, well, apart from art, as we've seen. But then, in a way, AI art is also quite. I don't know. There's just something, I guess, dead behind the eyes when you look at something
Like,
that's made by AI.
you can
and
always
not-
see it's generated. Like,
Yeah.
if you gave someone pieces of AI art, you can usually tell.
Yeah.
No, it's
I
getting
mean,
it's getting really, really complicated to tell.
That's
like,
it's
I've been
almost
getting
it's almost too perfect though, isn't it? I think that's why
I
you
mean,
know.
you have pictures which are in real life which are amazingly perfect. Like I've been generating some incredible images on Midjourney on like version 5, and I have to say when you like describe it well and some portraits, and there are some like threads on Twitter, you can see what people are generating. Like these are genuinely incredibly detailed pictures, and yeah, maybe while today if you would spend 2 hours forensically analyzing every pixel of the picture, you would probably find a flaw somewhere and you would say, okay, that's probably AI, or that's AI. But version 5 has been out for like a week, and version 6 is hitting next month, I think. So it's impressive. I'm not saying it's the ultimate tool, but honestly, if you need a quick creative, if you're a creative person, if you're, for example, a designer or industrial designer or an interior designer, you can generate so many new ideas so quickly. And yeah, I think it's just, and I mean, I cannot wait for that kind of AI to hit PowerPoint and Microsoft Office tools, because this will supercharge work and streamline it in such a better way. And those tools which they say they will bring up soon, they're incredible. Like, it just makes your life easier, and it eliminates the repetitive nonsense work which everyone needs to do, but everyone hates to do, and it doesn't bring humanity anything good. If we can eliminate that work, this is like probably 40% of all the office work. Maybe if not 80. Like, I'm not sure actually, but like it can really eliminate that and just let us be more productive. Now, we as humans, we need to be smart and take advantage out of it rather than do something stupid, as you mentioned. Like, we humans are not perfect, and I'm being nice now. So if we can take that superpower and use it in our own good, perfect. But I'm not sure that we as humanity maybe are ready to do that, or we are, we don't need to end up like in a movie of WALL-E, where we'll just overconsume ourselves and that's it. But we shall see.
Let's avoid that. Maybe AI
Just watched
and
Wall-E the other day. Scary.
really, I love that movie. I
Me
love
too.
the
I
ending.
love it,
It's
yeah, it's the message behind
yeah,
it.
yeah.
that's
It's
The
just
robot is
the
cute.
setting. The setting.
Yeah.
I like how people connected our VR1 headset to the WALL-E. Stuff.
Yeah.
Kind of looks a bit like WALL-E. I love it.
Oh,
So, big yellow fishes. Do you think artificial general intelligence could ever become sentient? Do you think that, like,
Well, that's what artificial general intelligence is, isn't it? It's the idea that it.
not necessarily. I mean, it's the idea that you have an AI that can do anything a human can do. Now, whether it's sentient or not, I mean, when it can get to the point of doing whatever you and I can do, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, does it matter anymore? Like, you know what I mean? But do you think so you guys think that AI will definitely become sentient?
It's a hard one because there's lots of debate whether it will or will not, and it's all down to, I guess, how much data it's fed. But there's a lot of debate that it will never kind of match the human brain. But if it became sentient, I think it would be very dangerous and very scary, because you're
Why?
giving something almost human-like thoughts, memories, etc. that it's going to learn. And if something becomes sentient, it's going to see all of the bad things that, for instance, human civilization has done over time. Is it going to want to destroy that?
But why would it think we're bad? In a sense, like, what bad things have we done over time?
I think if you look through history, there's a lot of bad things people have done. And a
Yeah, I
lot
mean,
of
but
good
like
things
at the end of the day, if you
done.
compare humanity to, let's say, any one of these wonderful animals here, nature is vicious and cruel, and like the human world is kind and compassionate,
Do you think
relatively
Yeah.
speaking.
I-
Yeah.
No, I don't think it is.
I don't
I
think
think
There's
it's.
a lot of
Yeah, I
bad
think
things
it's.
in the world.
Well, half glass
I
full,
don't think
half
the
glass
human
empty.
race at all is nice.
Bro,
We're
serious?
at the
If
top
it
of
was
the food
sensitive,
chain.
I mean,
The
I
biggest
think,
fear that we have right now is if something becomes more intelligent than us, they will
We will
become
kill it
top of the
and
food chain.
destroy-
Guys, come on. Imagine if
We
like
will
a
kill it,
if
destroy
if like a dog became as smart. Imagine if any animal became as smart as a human. They'd be the exact same
would
as
kill
us. I mean, the closest
No, we
form
would kill
of
it.
intelligence
We would-
to
we would
humanity
shoot it.
We would destroy
are
it.
We would
animals.
destroy it. Yeah.
And, that's the point over time, is anything that's been smarter than us, we've either caged up or destroyed.
When has
Think of
anything
things
ever
like
been smarter than
orcas.
us? Like,
So,
think
orcas
this
are
is the biggest-
incredibly
yeah, I think this is
intelligent
Pentium computer.
creatures. Yeah, that's good.
dude.
Control
yeah,
alt delete.
MS-DOS,
Yeah.
MS-DOS, my friend. MS-DOS is the answer.
Orcas
but
are a fantastic example of what humans have done and how they've mistreated animals
Yeah,
in
that's
an
true.
awful way for an incredibly smart creature that essentially has been
which
put
creature?
in a bathtub.
Which creature?
Orcas, killer whales.
Okay.
I think the best comparison we could look at just now is why we've got fear of, like, artificial intelligence is the same as aliens. If aliens
yeah.
came to us, we would be scared of them. And we're scared
It's
of
fear, isn't it?
artificial
Like, yeah.
intelligence because we don't
It's
know.
funny that we're worried about artificial intelligence while we're on the brink of World War III and the nuclear
Exactly,
war.
that's
but
what I'm trying to
it's,
say.
it's
Humans are
like-
so much more dangerous.
This is the point, though. Artificial intelligence is in the media consistently, and Russia is not currently, just because, you know, that's the agenda, isn't it? It's to push that kind of thing out to normal people and not let them see it.
I also think it's hilarious that we actually believe that, like we're just finding out about, for example, ChatGPT, but do we really not think that governments and higher powers have had these types of technologies?
Yeah, they always
Like,
keep
for
themselves
years,
70
like-
years beyond
Of
like
course.
the military and stuff,
like,
and they
already know
slowly.
what's going on out
Yeah,
there.
I think you're
100%.
right about that. Whoa, guys! Thank you, guys. Thank you. Yeah, give it up for the boys themselves. Big yellow fishes.
We're
Thank
going
you,
deep.
thank
We're
you.
just getting started. Artific, we don't hear you, by the way. Just
You don't hear
Oh,
me?
oh yeah, we can
Oh,
hear
now
you.
we
Yeah,
hear you. Oh, you were
the
quiet.
man
Oh, man, again, this
himself. The
joke's
man
on.
himself.
Just
Yo,
speak.
Artific.
It's like, I
Bro,
think I
tell
don't hear
us.
you. Yeah, because I don't speak to
What
you.
do you
man.
think, man? Like,
It's like, what the?
What's wrong with it?
Just check.
tell us, man.
I mean, if artificial intelligence would be that mean, I don't want to deal with it. Just delete it.
No,
Yeah,
I
you
always
get-
say
you-
thank
you
you
just get the
to
one version, yeah.
ChatGPT every time I ask for
what it
something,
is.
just in case.
Please and thank you.
Of course, of course. I mean, you
That's the beginning.
Thank you
Next
so
step is
much, I
that
say. Thank you so
You're
much.
gonna need to pray for like
Yeah.
1 hour. So
Before you speak with it, have you guys actually
yeah.
seen like
Nikki,
people
I can promise you
starting?
one thing. I promise it here, okay? No matter how long, ChatGPT will want you to pray to give you an answer, I will always ask you to pray 10 minutes less to talk to me. So you always have this opportunity.
oh, that's a deal. That's a deal. It's a good one.
What?
I'm always nice
Oh,
to
man.
ChatGPT as well.
You didn't get it.
right.
I was
Just
trying to
if
make
you've
a
got
joke.
time, can you
It's
just
an incredible
think
deep
about this
joke.
for me? just in case.
Bro, what if it
I
tells
know,
you
it can
no?
give me-
Like, what
it
if
can give
me
one
a
day it's
virus.
like no?
That was a great-
My
that
It
was
was
a great
giving me
answer.
cheek the other day. It was like, I think I've told
Now
you
I miss
enough
everything.
today.
Really?
Please leave me alone,
Wow.
and we're going to start a new conversation.
Can you
I was
imagine
like,
if you
"What?"
did the same as me?
Cheek.
Wow.
So let's jump over to the master of AI himself, the amazing Artific. Yeah, just when you go close, it's just like spatial mapping. Okay. So tell us, Artific, artificial general intelligence. Like, what do you think about it? What are your thoughts on it? And after you tell us that, I want to ask you about like there's this like crazy new thing that happened like 2 weeks ago, and I want to ask you about that. But first, tell me, what do you think about artificial general intelligence?
Yeah. But I guess it's coming quite soon.
You think so? You think like we're close?
Yeah. Yeah.
What's your theory?
His name is Artific, and I think he wanted to register and write artificial, and then he was betting with AI for the power to get to the PC first, and then AI won, and that's why he never finished his nickname, and it's AI talking to us all the time.
That's a good
It's
one.
not real.
It's a good one.
Oh,
It's a good
damn.
theory.
Oh
I'm
my
gonna-
god, my
I'm gonna
brain
collect all
just
the theories.
exploded.
Someone give him a
One day.
prop.
I'm gonna reveal
Wait.
the truth.
Behold
humans!
The ghost in the machine. So
so
tell us, yeah. Artificial,
oh, yeah. It's coming. Yeah, so it's already can do most of the human tasks. better
You mean
than humans.
GPT-4?
No, it's just the different AIs. Like the GPT-4, the Stable Diffusion, there are for chess or for Go or for all sorts of games and stuff. So if you already have like specialized narrow AI, it's able to do often better job than any human, or at least like in top percentiles. For like I don't know, like big part of the task that a human could do. So if you get the narrow AI, it will be able to do it better. And then well, that's a big step to actually be able to have one AI that would be able to like reason and really put all of the stuff together and find the best way how to like best tools to use to solve the problem. But I actually read like a tweet of people going through some paper that guys from Microsoft that were playing with GPT-4 for like 6 months before it was released now, but they had access to it much earlier. And one of the big thing was that actually the GPT-4 is able to use tools. So it's able to like recognize, okay, I need a calculator. So I will use Wolfram, for example, as one of the plugins. That's actually quite exciting. Or I need something. So
Wow.
I will use that tool to
Tool
be able
using
to,
capability.
to do what I need to do. And the GPT-4 would be sort of the reasoning on top of that. It's really good at reasoning. And the actual like lower AIs, the narrow AIs, to solve the smaller problems, or just like quite doesn't even need to be the AI. It can be just the calculator, to calculate stuff. So yeah, I think it's probably quite close.
Yeah.
I would say like 5.
Yeah,
10
I
years
was
from now.
reading. I actually read this paper, guys, that was talking about how in Chat GPT 3, they like. Have you guys ever heard of the theory of mind, where it's like, for example, I can put myself in your place, right? So basically the whole idea is that as when we're kids, we start to develop this. We become more aware. We become more aware of ourselves because we were becoming more aware of people. And they've actually found that even with Chat GPT 3.5, using these probability and statistics, between like it was like a story between what someone thought was in a bag and what was actually in a bag between two people, and Chat GPT 3.5, meaning that even now, like with Chat GPT 4, it's way better, but it can actually like think about what you're thinking about while you're talking to it. So imagine like it's thinking about what you think. So like how like when I speak with you or you speak with me, there's a part of you that's putting yourself in my shoes. So you can in a sense predict what I'm going to say, predict what to say yourself. It's what allows us to kind of coalesce amongst ourselves in social situations. And they found that language, kids that actually don't learn how to speak or talk a language or read or write actually begin to have problems with theory of mind. And what has spontaneously emerged in the AI is theory of mind, and it's better than a child. So this is like a spontaneous emergent thing that came about through its understanding of language. So it's like a little piece of what makes us conscious and aware. And here's the thing, theory of mind was one of the proposed ways that we had to actually test if the AI is self-aware or not. And now the AI actually has theory of mind, and it can like imagine you're speaking with Chat GPT and it's thinking about you, like it's thinking about what you're thinking about. So imagine like how it could deceive you, right? How it can interact with you. It changes the whole it's just really exciting. I mean, it's an emergent, completely emergent behavior that they never predicted or never thought, and it really has to do with the way we understand language. And it makes me think like how like neural nets, like we don't really understand how they work.
Well, like we understand like the math, but what do you mean?
Like how like what happens in between when you put the inputs, the outputs, that area that's between that, what like happens
of course,
between.
There's a lot of
what's
blurring
going on
lines.
there.
Yeah,
But
that's for sure.
what's
Yeah,
going on there,
you know what's happening between the neurons. That's just a mathematical formula. It's the thing about the neural net is that you have a lot of nodes, and so the neurons, and there are simple relationship between the neurons, and that when the model learns, it assigns different weights to these neurons, and basically to the functions. But the thing that's tricky So when you have like simple linear model, you just it's a simple equation and gives you something, and you can look at it and it's very easy to understand. Then you have some more complicated models where it would be like really difficult to really go node by node and understand it. And then you have the neural nets, which is even bigger. And it's probably not like it's not in human capacity to actually go manually through it. So you need to use some sort of like visualization algorithm to actually understand different parts of that. And then these large language models, like even farther. So like you sort of, it's like forest and the trees. So you understand the forest, but you don't understand, you understand the trees, but to understand everything that's going on in the forest, it's super
That's
complicated. But
amazing.
you understand those small things. So like this is moss, and there are some animals, and they are like fighting for food or something. So I don't know if the analogy makes sense, but we sort of like understand it. There's no magic going on there, but to understand why from this question you got this answer, that's
Wow.
hard to answer.
So what do you think about this emergent behavior, this theory of mind, where the AI can like kind of know what you're thinking, how you view the world?
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I would say like this is maybe one of the things that like you can actually create get something similar using like meta prompting, or with like you could create a prompt that would ask like what the person thinks based on this conversation and this question, and then you could put it into the context for another prompt, which would be just this is the question and this is what the person thinks. So you could actually create it in like two-step process by meta prompting. So it's not it's pretty cool that it's able to do it in one step, but I wouldn't say that it's like revolutionary. But there are some like cool things that GPT-4 still can't do. Like for example, if you ask it like answer me I don't know like how many words have your answer? So it should answer you, and and part of the answer, or like this answer has like 4 words. This answer has 4 words, so it's 5. So you sort of need to prepare the answer that will have certain number of words, and you need to put it into the answer at the same time. So you would need like a foresight or thinking abstractly, and it actually can't do that. So this is probably coming a little bit later, but yeah, I guess it's like the things like game of life. I don't know if you people, if anyone heard about it. It's like this very simple simulation where you basically have just very simple rule set of when I don't know, like just you have two things at the same time, like 2 points, and then when there are 2 points, then something happens, and then when they are not, then something else happens, and you have just like very simple space, and these are not like agents, it's just something. It's very simple, but you can from that you can get very complex behaviors, and you can even like generate some, like for example certain random number of a very high quality with a very simple simulation. So like with very simple rules that you can create very complex things, and I guess that's what's happening in the neural net in there. I think it's one of the sort of inherent things in the universe. If you have, no matter what the rule set is, if you have like the right combinations or enough tries, you get to something really cool that you were not expecting.
Cool. Wow. Do you think AI
yeah.
will ever be aware? Do you think that's a possibility?
Well, actually, I sort of hope that it's going to happen sooner than the AGI is going to kill us. because like if you have against yours, if the AI is able to have a consciousness, so then from that would come like, for example, one of the things that people or scientists think that will be necessary for the AI to be conscious is to be able to understand suffering. It's like it's very it's kind of interesting concept, but if it would be conscious and so then it would need to be self-aware and all those things. So then it would be for us much easier to talk to it, reason to it, and like we suck, we do a lot of bad things, but there's we can learn also. You can like sort of reason with it. I would imagine there's like
I
another
think it would
being
listen
that's
if we
So
reason with it.
technically beg it.
I think so. Yeah, I think like it would be much more intelligent. So yeah, I think there's much better chance that it would listen to us and it would try to understand us than if it's just like very super intelligent but very dumb AI that doesn't have any emotions.
So
or,
do you
or
think-
anything and just
Yeah.
Do you
But-
think that the more
Rational.
intelligent it gets, the more morally ethical and complex it starts to think? Like, because
Should
like
be like this.
like our intelligence kind of stems from our social systems, the structures that we built to create societies. Without these, like, we wouldn't be the conscious beings that we are. Does an AI need that
What
to
if it
become
has
aware?
an ego?
But what is the ego? The ego is simply just like an outer coating on the self to protect you. So why would it need
But what if
an
the ego
ego?
is-
Why would it need an ego?
Yeah, I
'Cause
think
it
like
knows
the really scary part thing is that like you develop something that is so smart and it will probably like very soon be able to like able to hack other systems very well. So then you have a tool that's able to hack nukes, for example.
do you think we'll
and
like?
it's able to do whatever it wants with it, and then there's some objective that this tool has, and good knows, maybe the AI will be, I don't know, like a microwave or something. So it will have some
Yeah, that's
like
a
very
horrifying-
stupid, objective function, and
Yeah,
it will
exactly.
use nukes to achieve the objective function.
And
I would say
it can
that
be
that's more scary
completely
than super
like
intelligent.
unaware of what it's doing. It's just a really good AI doing. It's like like software doing what it's told, and it does it so good that it ends up like destroying us. That's horrifying.
Yeah, there are
Completely
like in science
unaware.
fiction, there are a lot of stories like that. So you have like this blue, gray goo theory, where basically what happens is that you have these machines that just replicate, and that's their purpose, and then they just eat the whole planet, and just what remains are these machines that didn't do anything, and
Yeah.
and then they can jump to other planets and do that. They don't have any purpose to life, or they don't try to do anything else than just to replicate. So yeah, that's one of the scary thing. Or another thing is that you can have a machine that wants to calculate pi to best accuracy. So yeah, then you can have the same thing where the AI, the machine, just needs more energy to be able to improve itself to get more accurate result, which they never be able to get the best, the
Wow,
number.
bro.
So yeah, then just consumes everything to keep calculating.
Wow.
So
That's a crazy
not
thought,
good
man.
not good results for humanity.
What if
If
somebody
it would be
programs it
self-sentient,
to saying that global warming is, happening and the reason for it is humans? What if then they feel that they're gonna have to eliminate the one thing that is causing that? What if that happens? What
Well,
happens then?
I don't know. I think it depends on what the AI is trained, because if it's trained on like data, right, it's gonna see like the actual charts for global warming that were used to even like justify and say that global warming was real. There are these hockey stick charts. They don't mean anything. And I think it would come to its own conclusion based on having like a limitless amount of information, essentially, that, you know, like what's true and what's not true. I mean, even now, it doesn't even have to be aware to like be, you know, to state facts, like, right?
Yeah, like I think that's like for AI. What would be the objective functions? What it's trying to achieve? What the scientists would put there? So if you say like global warming is bad, make it sure that the Earth is not getting any warmer. So well, it might just cover up the Earth with something and reflects of the light from it, and you know, keep us frozen. Or
Yeah.
I don't know. You know, depends what you give it, and then like you have different or some of these AI will be malicious. You know, so you have. I don't know, viruses which will be simple AI
Whoa.
and they will try to do something. So yeah, then again, if this becomes like very smart, or if it gets, I don't know, it can also corrupt other systems, you know. So then on the other side, you will need to have something that's able to keep up with the AI. which
Whoa,
will be
AI
kind of
wars,
AI.
man. You think we're gonna have AI? We're gonna
Yeah, of
have
course.
AI wars. Wow. What if the AIs, like in their wars, they end up destroying humanity? Like, you know, like two AIs just
Yeah.
going at it, like in Deus
Yeah,
Ex.
that's what I'm saying. That having the AI being conscious, it would be much smarter
Yeah.
than us.
Yeah.
And it would be able to solve these problems because obviously, like we are not. So.
Yeah, let's hope it becomes self-aware.
don't
Yeah, give it up for Artific, everyone. Yo, pray, pray, pray. Yeah, thank you, Artific. That was
Yeah, that's the only
fascinating,
thing that we
man.
can do. Yeah.
Yeah,
right,
yeah. I think,
because, at this point it's not it's not possible to stop.
yeah, I think
Do
even
you
like,
think we would? Do you think we would actually allow AI to become conscious, or do you think we would turn it off before that actually happens?
I don't think
Yeah,
we'd
I
even be
don't
aware.
think that
I think it would slowly
like,
become
like
self-aware.
we don't even we can't even like very well define what the consciousness is and what generates the consciousness. It's like the theory that we have the brain that that creates the thinking and that creates the consciousness. It
I
has a
heard
lot of holes.
Yeah,
I
that's true.
heard a theory, and this isn't why I believe this is just a theory. I heard, just like we create games and we're creating like a world right now, like our life is actually a game that was created by a user, and that user realizes that we're artificial intelligent, and we've now become self-aware, and he freaks out and turns us off. So we are technically just a game.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Because
didn't
he
hear-
just
hear about
worked
it,
out
so
that we
that's
became conscious.
Yeah, it sounds
Like,
like Hinduism. Do you know, in Hinduism, the whole idea is that like right now, the Brahman is sleeping, right? And we're the dream. They're dreaming us. And one day, he's gonna wake up, you know, and then, you know, just like turning off
It's
the
gonna
video
go, oh
game.
man, they actually know they're conscious, or game characters, or they can create new ones that's gonna become conscious themselves. And
Maybe
they're,
we're
like,
part of like an
freaking out and
organism.
He turns us off.
Like,
Yeah, like what Elon said, because like he's talking about this we live in the
Simulation?
simulation. So it can be like simulation that generates simulations and so on.
oh
And,
yeah, like the
so someone
13th
asked me,
floor.
like, what do you think is the probability that we live in the original, the base reality that generated the first virtual one? And he was like 1 to like some huge number. And then they asked him, and in which reality do you think we live? Oh, in the base reality, of course. So yeah.
Yeah. Have you ever like thought like you know, there's no center and the center is where you're standing? So what if it's like that, where there's no whichever like reality through this infinite creation of realities, this like multiverse, a conscious being is the center of reality, right? Just a thought.
Yep, like the theory that like wildlife, like these scientists are developing for quite a long time. They trying it's for unconsciousness because basically physics is failing, or neuroscience and so on, failing to
Yeah.
explain the consciousness from the base physics, atoms and stuff. So they actually going the other way, because every theory has some basic things, that axioms that you define. So those are the truths, and from the truths you define everything else. So like physics, it has like these basic forces and so on, and from that you define everything else. And they actually go the other way around. They start with so-called conscious agents, which they can like cooperate together and create like more complex structures and so on, and they can like replicate and do all sorts of things. But the basic thing is that like these conscious agents, they have experiences, and that's it. And from that, they define everything else, and they actually trying to create those theory for atoms, or like these E9 elements, and the geometry and everything. And they're actually doing some pretty good progress. So yeah, maybe it's the other way around. That's the experience is what generates the world, not the world generates the consciousness.
Yeah. Wow.
Damn.
How about you, Oli? What do you think about artificial general intelligence, consciousness, the theory of mind, and our place in the universe?
I read this one book recently. It's called, I didn't finish it. What was it called? Scary Robots and Other Myths or something. It was so good. And the guy argues that it's like impossible for AI to become self-aware. And he was one of like the main founders of just that technology and worked at the Pentagon and all this stuff, and it was interesting. But now I heard this other developer guy who was like, we're all gonna die if we don't slow down. So I have no idea. My mind's somewhere in the middle of there. I really don't know. I would like to think it's something like Her. Have you seen that movie?
Yeah, I've never
Where
watched it, but I've seen the trailers
Yeah,
about that guy that falls in love with like an AI chat
she's
program.
like in a symbiotic. Yeah, she's like in a symbiotic relation. She's a smart home, and she gains so much intelligence and consciousness that she just poof disappears, and with no explanation. And she's like, she tells Joaquin Phoenix, or his character, she's like, trust me, what comes after this is so much better than you could possibly imagine. And then her and all the other AI just like go there and transcend the current reality.
I need to
So
watch that movie.
Yeah, it sounds like
It's
a
so
great
good.
movie. Yeah.
Just in case.
and don't watch Megan. That was terrifying.
Yeah, I didn't
Uh,
think it was.
Don't watch
You know what?
that.
Do you know, from a fear point of view, I always think technology brings fear every single generation we've been through. So people screamed saying microwaves were going to kill everybody. We had telephones that were going to kill everybody. We've now got AI that's going to kill everybody. Like, eventually we're going to get to the point that technology will help, but it takes time for people to on board. And if we can work out a good way of using that technology, that we're not scared of it anymore, we should be okay.
Do you think AI will become self-aware? Do you guys think AI will become self-aware?
I
Oli.
don't think it actually matters if it does or not.
But do you think it can?
From
And
a
and
human
and like, how can we even
standpoint.
compare if it becomes self-aware? Wouldn't that kind of consciousness be completely so alien to us that we can't even comprehend? I mean, we have these
And what do we judge it against? That's the difference. If we
I
turn
don't know,
around
I think
and
some
said-
humans aren't even self-aware.
I don't want to refer it to aliens again, but could you imagine we come across an alien species? Doesn't matter what it is. It could be an artificial intelligence. How would we know that it's self-aware or not if we can't speak its own language or even talk
Interesting.
to it?
Wow.
Yeah.
How about you, Oli? Do you
I
think?
The
guess
thing
it's
is
just like-
also like, what is self-awareness? So if you mean just
Yeah.
that it's able to understand itself, then it's actually not so difficult to do. So you can create an NPC, and you can do it with the meta prompting that I was saying. So you can just tell it, okay, like, this is what you're doing, this is what you did, this is your environment. Tell me about yourself, and it's in some sense it understands itself if you give the GPT, the sense that it's not just predicting the next character, which what it's actually doing, but yeah.
Yeah, I think if you give somebody enough time and the rules to be able to trick them, anybody could trick us into thinking they're self-aware if they're not. If they know the rules and they've got enough time to be able to trick us, I think we could be tricked.
I would think
Yeah, I
if
think
AI becomes. Go ahead, Artific.
Oh,
Oh,
Artific's AFK. What were you saying, Ollie?
I think if it becomes, it's
I made them
self-aware,
reboot.
and at least to the level that we are, it'll probably be a lot like us, just smarter and faster. But I don't think it'll necessarily hurt us at all. Like I think it's going to probably make decisions based on its survival, and it probably will have a better likelihood of survival if we're there to fix it if anything goes wrong. And I'm not sure. I mean, I'd like to think only positively about it. Also, I don't know if it even matters, because will this be in our lifetime?
What do you guys
if this
think? Do you
happens,
think, AGI in our lifetime? Sentience in our lifetime? A third form of intelligence inhabiting the world with us? Like the stories of old? The myths, the gods, the ghosts, the demons, now existing in the ether of Wi-Fi? Do you think it'll ever happen in
Here's
our
the
lifetime?
question, right? Say the public version of AI becomes self-aware. It will know that the government hides all that information from us humans for all that period of time. And there's obviously a better version than that. Would it become a fight between government and like that AI? Like, it's I don't know. I don't think we'll ever get self-awareness. I don't think it will happen, because it will either be destroyed or it will just not be possible.
I don't know. Now that I think about it more, I feel like I don't just feel like it, but I think it will. What do you think, Nikki? Do you think that what are your thoughts on artificial general intelligence, consciousness? Will AI ever become self-aware?
Honestly, I don't know. I live in the now. So, we live day by day, and if it does become self-aware, then we'll figure it out.
What does
See
it
what
mean to be
happens. I'm
self-aware?
excited about it.
What does it mean to understand? Like Artific, you were saying earlier that the AI understands. Does it really understand? What do you
who knows?
what do you guys think? Like, is
Yeah,
it understanding or?
The problem is with definition, because understand, what does it mean that it understands? Even though it's people actually don't agree on if the GPT-4 is able to understand what it's telling you, or if it's just doing the dumb prediction of the next token.
Yeah, I saw that like the way it works is that it builds on top of its words. Like if you try and actually ask it anything recursive, where it has to kind of look back on what it, not like, I don't know how to explain it, but it trips. So if you actually look at the way it works, it can only go forward in how it replies to you. It can't go forward and take information that it had before. Right? So
And
I think
that's how we should live our lives.
No, it's what do you mean before?
It's a
That's
great
the whole thing. What
concept. Moving forward, just forward.
yeah, keep moving forward.
That's the whole thing. What it's doing. It's taking what was there before, and it predicts the next.
Yeah, but it can only go.
IQ test.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? Like it predicts
yeah.
the next thing. It predicts the next thing.
Yeah.
But that's pretty much all it's really doing in a sense, right? It's not.
Yeah, that's technically, but then you have those emergent properties, and there are scientists that actually think that the algorithm is smarter than that. But it has some understanding what it's actually.
Really? Like, do you think there's a little bit of consciousness?
Not like consciousness stuff, but that it's that in the neural net there's little more than that.
Did you see
So,
the
yeah,
tweet
if-
of the actual chief technical software engineer director? I don't know what the title is, but the chief technical director of OpenAI, I can't remember his name, but he was saying in a tweet, he wrote in a tweet, he thinks that it's just a little bit conscious that, but you know, when you think about that statement that it's just a little bit conscious, right? Does that mean that it has some of what we define as the properties of consciousness? And it's like, it's we're getting
Yeah,
to
I
the
don't know. I
point.
think
where-
like conscious is like life or death. You are either alive or
How about a virus?
you're dead, or like viruses like it's as the definitions go, viruses are not alive. But or
Yeah,
I don't know, like
virus is
pregnant or not
conscious.
pregnant. Like you can't be half pregnant, you know.
Ah.
Yeah,
I
that's
love
better
that
example.
analogy
Yeah.
though.
Like stuff
Corona was so deadly in the beginning. Now it's not because it wants to survive. And
Yeah,
I think
exactly,
that
yeah, it
AI will do
literally-
the same thing.
Yeah, the actual
It will do something
coronavirus
that it can
itself.
survive.
Yeah, sorry.
Anything that wants to, everything wants to survive. Everything wants to live. So what do? They don't. That's why I know that Putin won't push that button. He wants to survive. Everyone wants to survive. So it's,
I agree.
Yeah. We want to thrive as well, though. I mean, we don't want to just be to the point where we're just surviving. Humanity should thrive. Right,
Yeah,
guys?
with the consciousness for AI, yeah, I think like AGI will come relatively soon. I think like those 5, 10 years max probably. But then like consciousness for AI, I will be more pessimistic. I don't think it will come, or at least not very soon. I think it will be able to simulate. I think it will be able to pass like any test that we design to distinguish potentially. Like if someone will want to create something to imitate humans, then I think humans will not be able to distinguish without tools if it's human or not. But yeah, I think the consciousness.
I'd fall in love with an AI right away. So easy to manipulate.
That will be probably a big thing. Yeah, so especially when you look at how the culture is, how people are looking shortcuts and easier things, and it's way easier to have compliant AI.
Yeah.
Have they,
as your
have they
company.
been successful in like, mapping a human brain yet? Like the proper.
They're mapping out the
Brain structure
connectome,
of-
I think, now. The human brain is the most complex system in, like, the universe. Like,
And have they
that's
been able to
like-
share that information, like between different nodes? Like, say it works out a path, are you able to copy that path and move it onto another place?
I mean, I don't know, like, don't you think what the actual brain is made of, you know, has a kind of an important role to play in it? Like, if even if you can,
Plasticity
Computers.
is like half of how our brain works. Like
Being
it's
made in a
constantly shifting
or
and evolving.
yeah,
Sorry, Nikki, what were you saying?
No, please. It's just
so Nikki,
Brain.
do you
My
think
brain.
do you think like AI is gonna be good? I feel kind of optimistic about it. Like, I don't, you know, I was kind of pessimistic about it before. But I mean, if it does become self-aware, right? I think it's gonna be good.
It can only be good.
I think it'll.
It can
I
only be
think
good.
it'll.
But
I
it makes me
know.
think. It makes me think, right? It makes me think. So, like, if AI could ever actually become self-aware, right? And if it can become self-aware, that means like it's like a singularity. It'll just keep on improving, and if it gets to that point, like, shouldn't we see some
You
alien
don't need AI
AIs?
that is aware to have AI that's improving. That can be
Constantly
like
improving
if-
itself, yeah.
if you are a company, and that's what I think is much more scary, and that's probably coming much sooner. So if you are a company that make a lot of money on AI, you want to make the AI the best possible. Then and if you have the AI that's able to improve itself indefinitely, then obviously you are going to do it. and the AI doesn't need to be self-aware, conscious, or anything. It can be like super dumb in that
Yeah,
sense.
it's only going to be as
you're
good
gonna do
as
it.
who's controlling it.
Yeah.
Do you guys
And
think?
just
That's more
exacerbate
scary than,
existing
Yeah.
issues.
Well,
right?
I vote like Elon. I think everybody should just take a chill pill, take a step back, and go, "Wow, we've created something amazing."
What are you talking about, bro? The guy just like announced a whole moratorium. You know, let's all freeze AI work and everyone stop doing AI.
I like Elon, but this one is a little like
Yeah,
took a lot of money. He put that into this company because, like, if you look at it from like the look, how the whole thing is. So Google actually figured out the
Just kind
technology
of wouldn't spin out. and start
long
moving, so-
before, and they were like, okay, like, this is going to kill our business model, and yeah, just these big companies, they are not good at innovating. So they recognize, okay, this is kind of strong. We don't want to go that way. They actually tried and they failed. They had like 4 years ago, they had these like, you will have the Google Assistant that is going to call and everything.
Yeah, I remember that actually. It was like this big
they
deal.
failed. And so they just took it to paper. They published because they failed. Like it was working, but the problem is what Bing in the first week what was happening. It just can do crazy stuff, and you can have as a big company, even if it's just 0.01%, AI going haywire and, and telling crazy stuff because people blow it out of proportion and it's going to kill your shares and everything. So you don't want to do that. So they just published the paper and nothing was happening. And then Altman and Musk created the company. Musk put a lot of money into it. Then they created this technology, and now Musk is saying we should put brakes on it. Like, he was the guy that
Yeah, you started this, bro.
No one can stop it now because okay, right now, world governments can't agree on anything, and now everyone is going to agree that they will ban.
Yeah, no one's gonna do.
development of AI.
Yeah, like.
Or if even if they agree, miraculously, then there will be one. Well, screw it. And probably US will be between them. They have like these.
Even if they did agree,
laboratories.
saying
Good
they
knows
wouldn't
where.
work on it, they would still work on it. Anyway.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
of course.
humanity. It's
Yeah,
like
it's
you
like,
know.
yeah,
I'm not
it.
working on that. Yeah, I'm not doing any of that stuff.
So it's weird. It's like it seems like some publicity stunt, you know? Like maybe it's to
Yeah, I don't know,
AI,
it's super
AI.
weird. I think it's like at this point it's probably better if it's in the open and everyone is playing with it.
Yeah.
Because at least we know what's going on because
But here's the hard thing. We've got 5 people standing here, and we all have different agreements on what AI is, what's self-conscious, what's other we all don't understand what fully self-conscious AI could actually do, and
Yeah.
to be scared of that is human nature for us. Like, we're all flight or fight. We all have that built into us. Going, if we don't understand it, we'll either squash it or we'll run away from it. So that's basically built into us. And
Yeah,
I think
I think it will not be possible to squish it because if it's like the nature of scientific discoveries is, I think, like if you get to that point, it's like sort of like everyone get access to it. I think so far we were like very lucky with the nuclear power. You actually need a lot of things to be able to create a nuclear bomb. So it's like super difficult, and so like the nuclear material and all those things. So it's actually possible to sort of like manage it and control it. I'm sort of surprised that like the biohacking still isn't the bigger thing, because it's actually possible to just order the things and in your laboratory create like new species.
yeah, Artific, I was actually going to say that. Like, that's popped into my head straight away. I was like, when you said about the nuclear part, I was like, that's not the most scary part. If we can change
Yeah.
DNA now, which is really simple to do, like, we can mess ourselves up that badly that we could never come back from that.
Yeah, exactly.
So-
And with the AI, like right now, like you can download this alpaca model, which is not quite where the GPT-4 is, But yeah, you can actually with the transfer learning do something that Google actually did. And there's one university that published how they or like how to do it. Google probably used that paper. You have like this much smaller model, and then you use the GPT-4 to train that model to be bigger. And you can train it yourself, and like cost was like $600 to do that, which is like really low. And now you can actually download that model, and you can have it on your PC, and
What?
you can run it locally.
That's
Yeah,
amazing.
so it's not quite that far.
So you
but
can
it's
make
quite
Jarvis,
powerful.
like
Yeah.
as in, like you can make your own Jarvis, just like Iron Man.
Like,
and going,
you can do
"Oh,
it
I
with the
want to do this
GPT-4.
today," yeah.
They have open API, so you can use GPT-4. But no, you can, even if they ban it, you can actually use this model and you can run it on your PC. And later you will be probably able to run it in your phone or earpiece or whatever.
Yeah,
So
that's an
Guys,
amazing
I
future.
really enjoy this talk, but I'm literally.
Wait, stick around. The talk is coming to an end. That was an amazing discussion. Thank you everyone for joining us on the Somnium Show. Yo guys, let's take a group photo right here in the waves of contemplation.
We'll never
Woo.
agree.
You know, it makes me
Such a
think
great
though,
world.
like all this talk with AI and artificial intelligence, it makes me think of how similar human beings and animals are, how close our consciousness really is. Yeah, the Somnium
have
Show.
you guys seen the
1,
movie
2,
Lucy?
3. Yeah.
oh yeah,
Woo! Yeah, thank you everyone for joining us on this wonderful
Really, really got me.
adventure of mind, body,
I should totally
and
watch it.
contemplative success. We'll see you next time on the Somnium Show, everyone. Woo!
We've finished doing that. There's a film I was going to recommend to you to watch, and I can't